Welcome to Reverend Insanity, where immortality comes at the highest price. Chapter 2 begins now. According to legend, there is a river of time in this world, which supports the circulation of this world. And using the power of the spring and autumn cicadas, they can go upstream and return to the past. There are different opinions on this rumor. Many people do not believe it, and some people doubt it. Hardly anyone is really convinced, because every time the spring-autumn cicada is used, one must sacrifice his life and sacrifice his entire body and all his cultivation as a driving force. This price is too expensive, and what is even more unacceptable is that it often costs life and does not know what the result will be. Even if someone got the spring and autumn cicada, they would not dare to use it indiscriminately. What if the rumors are false and just a hoax? If Fang Yuan hadn't been desperate, he wouldn't have used it so quickly. But now, Fang Yuan is completely convinced. Because the hard facts are in front of us and cannot be refuted. He is indeed reborn. It's just a pity that this good goo, at the beginning, took a lot of effort and slaughtered hundreds of thousands of people, causing anger and resentment, and it was made through a lot of hard work. Fang Yuan sighed inwardly, although it was reborn, but spring-autumn cicada did not bring it. Human is the master of all things, and goo is the essence of heaven and earth. Goo is innumerable and strange. Some gus are used once or 2 or 3 times and they will completely dissipate, and some gus can be reused as long as they are not overused. Maybe spring-autumn cicada is the kind of consuming goo insect that can only be used once. But even if it's gone, I can still make another one. I could make one in my past life, but can't I in this life? After that, Fang Yuan couldn't help but feel a burst of pride in his heart. If he can be reborn, Spring-Autumn Chan's loss is completely acceptable. And he also has treasures, not nothing. This treasure is his 500 years of memory and experience. There are many treasures in his memory that no one has opened yet. There are major events one by one, allowing him to easily grasp the context of history. There are countless figures, some are seniors, some are geniuses, some are not even born. There is still a heavy experience of penance and a wealth of combat experience in the past 500 years. With these, there is no doubt that the overall situation and opportunities will be grasped. As long as the operation is good, it is not a problem at all to recreate the troll's heroic demeanor, and it can even go a step further and hit a higher realm. Then how to do it? Fang Yuan was very rational, quickly packed up his feelings and pondered the night rain outside the window. Thinking about it like this makes me feel confused. After thinking for a moment, his frown deepened. 500 years is really a long time, not to mention those memories that have been blurred and cannot be recalled. There are many secret treasures and opportunities of immortal masters that are remembered, but most of them are not separated by 108,000 miles, or they need to be opened at a specific time. The most important thing is to cultivate. I haven't opened my Yuanhai yet, and I haven't set foot on the path of Goo Master's cultivation. I'm just a mortal. I must cultivate as soon as possible, increase my cultivation, get ahead of history, and seize as much as possible. Take the lead and get enough benefits. And many secrets. The cultivation base is not enough. Even if you get it, you can't digest it. On the contrary, it is a hot potato, the sin of cherishing the jade. The first problem placed in front of Fang Yuan was cultivation. You must improve your cultivation as soon as possible. If it is as slow as the previous life, the daylily will be cold. If you want to improve your cultivation as soon as possible, you must use the resources of the family. In my current situation, I have no ability to travel through the crisis-ridden mountains at all. An ordinary wild boar can kill me. If I can reach rank 3, with a Goo Master's cultivation, he has the basic ability to protect himself, and he has to travel through mountains and rivers in this world. Judging from the eyes of a magician who has been trained for 500 years, this Qingmao mountain is really too small. Guyue Shanzai is more like a cage. But while a cage confines freedom, a solid cell also often represents some kind of security. In a short period of time, let's just toss in this cage. As long as you advance to the third rank of Gu Master, you will leave this poor mountain. Fortunately, tomorrow will be the enlightenment ceremony, and the practice of Gu Master will be officially started soon after that. As soon as he thought of the opening ceremony, the dusty memories in Fang Yuan's heart surfaced in the bottom of his heart. Quality. Looking out the window, he couldn't help sneering 3 times. At this moment, the door was gently pushed open, and a young man walked in. "Brother, why are you standing by the window in the rain?" This young man is thin, slightly shorter than Fang Yuan, and his face is very similar to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan looked back at the young man. A complex expression flashed across his face. "It's you, my twin brother." He raised his eyebrows slightly, his expression returning to his usual indifference. Fang Zhang lowered his head and looked at his toes. This was his signature move. "Seeing that my brother's window is not closed, I want to quietly come in and close it. Tomorrow is the enlightenment ceremony. Brother, you are still not resting so late. Aunts and uncles know. I'm afraid he'll be worried." His indifference to Fang Yuan is not surprising, because his brother has always been like this since childhood. Sometimes he thinks, maybe a genius is just such an extraordinary person. Although he has a very similar appearance to his brother, he is ordinary like an ant. Born from a mother's womb at the same time, why is God so unfair? Endowed his brother with a diamond-like talent, while he was ordinary like a pebble. Everyone around me would say, "This is Fang Yuan's younger brother." Uncles and aunts also often educate themselves to learn from your brother. Even when I sometimes look in the mirror and look at my face, I feel a little disgusted. These thoughts have been there for many years, accumulating in the depths of my heart. Like a boulder pressing down on his chest, Fang Zheng's head has been lowered lower and lower over the years, and he has become more reticent. Worry, thinking of his uncle and aunt, Fang Yuan let out a silent sneer in his heart. He remembered very clearly that both of his parents in this body fell because of a family mission. At the age of 3, he was orphaned with his younger brother. In the name of raising, the uncle and aunt openly encroached on the inheritance of their parents and treated themselves and their younger brother harshly. Originally, as a transmigrator, he also planned to keep a low profile. But the hardships of life forced Fang Yuan to choose to show his talent that was different from ordinary people. The so-called genius is actually nothing more than the rationality of a mature soul, as well as several poems from the Tang and Song dynasties that have lived on the earth. Even with such a small test, he was shocked and received widespread attention. Under the external pressure, the young Fang Yuan had to choose an indifferent expression to disguise and protect himself and reduce the possibility of revealing his secrets. Over time, indifference has become his habitual expression. In this way, uncles and aunts can no longer be harsh on themselves and their younger brothers. As they get older, their future is more optimistic, and their treatment also increases. But this is not love, but an investment. It's ridiculous that this younger brother didn't see the truth clearly. He was not only deceived by his uncle and aunt, but also buried resentment towards himself. Don't look at how well-behaved and honest he is now. After being tested for A-level aptitude in his memory, he was vigorously nurtured by the family, and the hidden hatred and jealousy were released. And as for your qualifications, the highest is only a C-class. Fate is always a joke. A twin, the elder brother's aptitude is only 3rd class, but he has enjoyed the name of genius for more than 10 years. The younger brother is unknown, but he has a 1st-class talent. The result of enlightenment shocked the clansmen. It also completely reversed the situation and treatment of the brothers. The younger brother rose to the sky like a dragon, and the elder brother fell to the ground like a phoenix. After that, it was the younger brother who made things difficult for him, the cold eyes of his uncles and aunts, and the contempt of the clansmen. Hate it? Fang Yuan hated him in his previous life, hated his lack of aptitude, hated the family's ruthlessness, hated the injustice of fate. But now, with 500 years of life experience, he re-examines this journey, but his heart is calm and has no hatred. What's there to hate? Thinking about it from another perspective, He can also understand his younger brother, his uncles and aunts, and the decent and powerful enemies who will besiege him 500 years later. The strong prey on the weak, and the survival of the fittest is the essence of this world. Besides, everyone has their own aspirations, and they are all fighting for the opportunity. So why don't they understand each other's suppression and killing? 500 years of experience had already made him see through all of this, and he only had the avenue of longevity in his heart. If someone stands in the way of his pursuit, no matter who it is, it's just a matter of life and death. The ambition in my heart is too great. If you embark on this road, you are destined to be enemies in the world. You are destined to be alone, and you are destined to be killed. This is the condensed consciousness of 500 years of life. Vengeance is not my plan, and the path of the demons has never been compromised. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan couldn't help laughing. Turning his head to the younger brother, he glanced lightly and said, "Just step back." Fang Zheng couldn't help but shudder in his heart, feeling that his brother's eyes were as sharp as ice blades, as if piercing into the deepest part of his heart. Under such gaze, he was naked in the snow, without the slightest secret at all. "Then see you tomorrow, brother." Now that he didn't dare to say more, Fang Zheng slowly closed the door and walked away. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting adventures. We'll discover young Fang Yuan's next move in this dangerous game of power. This is Nazus. Your support means the world to me, and I'll see you in the next chapter.